Well, I've been over in Spain now for the last 2.5 years, and I've been painting virtually all my life. But I've been really interested by the colours that I see in Spain, the colour of the rocks, and also the way that the hill villages nestle into the rocks and cling to the rocks. And I've tried to create that in my paintings. I'm also trying to do some different ways of using the canvas and bringing the canvas out so that it's like an explosion of light and colour. And at the moment, the one I'm working on, I've also got that as card relief, again bringing it out of the painting. So hopefully with the development of that, I should be able to get somewhere.
Tell us about the different pictures you have, because there are watercolors, acrylics.
Well, I normally work in watercolours because I find it's easier, but I don't use wishy-washy colours. I like really bright colours, and Spain is ideal for that, especially Andalusia with the clear skies and the white reflecting off. But I've also now started to do larger canvases, mainly because I've started to exhibit in the gallery, and the gallery owner has asked me to do them even larger, which is difficult, but it's getting there. I also have painting classes that I do, so I'm working alongside my students rather than teaching standing up one-to-one.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, I'm from Sweden, and I've been living here 3.5 years. And I like to paint people in situations. And I have concentrated on subjects from Fuengirola. So you see, I have the sea and the people that work at the beach, and from the ferry too, a Moroccan lady like this. And I'm now concentrating more on the relations between the man and woman. So I'm going to do a new series of paintings that I will present in a month's time in a special exhibition here in this gallery. And I will have the opening night the 18th of February, and they were completely new paintings, and I think they will be very nice.
How long have you been painting, Nikki?
Well, I've been painting on and off all my life, but really when I moved to Fuengirola, I decided to do it professionally. So it's like 3 years now.
I've been painting for a number of years, but very commercially. I was a designer, and I worked in television and films and theatre, mostly in Dublin, but also in England. And I moved out here and retired in Dublin, and I moved out here 5 years ago. And I've been painting now seriously for about a year. And I go to the Centro de Artes in Mijas, where I'm a member with my wife, and we both paint regularly, and we enjoy it very much.
You've got different types of paintings here.
Yes, I suppose because my whole career has been very commercial, and I had to be able to draw and paint anything and everything, so I have not one particular style. I have a range of watercolors, Conte crayon, I do oils, and virtually turn my hand to anything that needed. But I probably will settle down to a particular style soon now, yeah.
Well, to be honest with you, I've been living here 2 months, and I've always wanted to be able to do this kind of thing, exhibition in the gallery. But I went to Loughborough College to start with, and then to be honest with you, this is the truth. I've been a builder in England for 9 years, and this is something I always wanted to do. So this is an opportunity to come and exhibit art in a gallery. It's just something I've always wanted to do, so I've took the opportunity to do it now. So I've come to live. I've been living here for 2 months. That's it.
Tell us about your paintings.
Well, to be honest with you, I think they speak for themselves mainly. Just I like doing figures and working with colour, things like that.
Water?
Yeah, there's a little bit of water in these ones, yeah.
Hoping to sell many pictures?
Yes.
I started drawing as a little boy, drawing the horses, the milk float, and then later on drew all the time, but had no idea I was going to be a painter. That happened because I went in the army with national service, and at the end of it, you're 20 years old, and they offered a further education grant and said, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I want to go to art school. So with the grant, I was able to go to art school for 5 years. And at the end of that time, I went down to London. And then to make a living, of course, it's very difficult as an artist. So I went into what is now graphic design. And I first joined publishers Faber and Faber, who were a very well-known publishing company at that time. And then further down the line, I went to Ceylon for 9 years as an art director. Came back to London and worked again in freelance graphic design, but painting always when I could. With a family, you've got to earn the money, you know.
How many years have you been living and painting here on the Costa del Sol?
Oh, 21 years. We came out in '83 for a week's holiday, which changed our lives, because we found it wasn't just the sunshine, it's the attitude to life, you know, the way the Spaniards enjoy every day. In England, we seem to work solely in order to be able to retire and come to Spain for those 2 weeks, you see. So that's what attracted us, their attitude to life. But also the light here for a painter is extraordinary. Everywhere you turn there's a picture.
You've got different types of paintings. You have practically everything in this collection.
Yes, but I tend to, whatever material I use dictates what I do with it. So I don't paint the same watercolour as a pastel. And then I love to explore actual paint and what you can do with it. And also, of course, over the years I've gone into abstraction, semi-abstraction, and then recently I started a series of pastels, and then starting to Spanish dance, flamenco, and it's my reaction to nature, landscape, people. I love painting people, and I was hoping here maybe, with this constant light, I could do a few portraits, because I've been asked to do them, and my little studio it's not suitable for portraits. And this is a wonderful environment.
You're going to be here permanently?
Yes, we've all taken a year's rental, and keeping our fingers crossed, as it's such a new venture, that it would be successful. And I believe I'm going to be teaching a little here too, because we have that large teaching area, and I'm taking the life class and oil and acrylics, a couple of nights per week.
Well, these are my pictures, some of them, obviously not many, but this is a particular series I've been doing of Barbara Hepworth's sculptures set in her beautiful sculpture garden in England, in Cornwall, in St Ives. And I've got hooked on those because I'm a great fan of hers, and I just love the way she has put these in this beautiful garden, which gives them a whole different dimension, instead of just being lumps of stone with holes in, you know, set in these lovely settings with the lilies and the roses and everything. They're just so beautiful. And so those are they. This is more typical of what I do. I do a lot of flower painting, and it's smaller. I think these big ones look better in a gallery than they do it in my apartment. These look better at home. These are sort of pretty little pictures you can live with, I think, and so I do a lot of those. They're very popular.
And hopefully you'll be giving some art lessons here, watercolors.
Yes, we haven't quite got the art class part ready yet, but I hope to give some, just to beginners. I'm not a highly qualified teacher at all. But obviously I've learned an awful lot over the years, and I can just help beginners. And I am hooked on watercolour completely. I do a few oils, but I love watercolour. So hopefully I can pass that on to someone who wants to try and begin to do them.
Well, we've been on the Costa del Sol for 3 years, but before that we come from a town called Brighton, which is just outside of London. And I was doing art there, and I used to supply 1 or 2 galleries with my art. And then we came here and I was getting a picture framed, and Jackie, who runs the gallery, said, "Oh, would you like to join this gallery, you know?" Which is very nice. So this is what's happened. And normally I do a lot of floral pictures, but just recently I've started to do landscapes and this sort of thing, you know, with the children on the beach and trying to do something different for a change, you know, from floral.
I suppose you're getting new ideas with what you see here.
Because with the lovely light on the Costa del Sol, you can start doing different things, you know, I find. So that's what I'm going to do. Try and get outside maybe to paint instead of hiding away in the house. Which would be
Yes, I do indeed. I love Spain, and I love the culture of the country and the passion of the country. And I've tried in my paintings to express some of this, especially with the bullfight. And as you can see, I like to come up close into the bullfight so that I'm expressing the feeling more than the actual action. I've been in art a long time, since I was at school. I attended the St Albans School of Art, and over the years I've continued to draw and to paint. But I have to say, it was when I came to Spain that the passion really took hold of me, and I dedicated a whole year to putting together a series of bullfighting. I'm going to be holding an exhibition next week in the Temisa Hotel. Again, all the bullfighting series, and there are about 8 of them. So I'm continuing to paint in this way, but I also do other paintings, floral paintings and scenery and that sort of thing.
You're going to be here permanently in the gallery?
Yes, indeed. I'm going to have a presence here. I think it's a wonderful place for people to come and browse around, and for artists to work, and to really be a centre in Fuengirola for people to enjoy and to be able to choose the kind of paintings that are suitable for their home. Because there are so many different styles here. There's something for everyone, I think.
Well, I've been doing ceramics for around 7 years, but I've actually been painting for around 30 years. And the ceramics are an extension of the ideas of the painting. And this particular series is based on the history of Andalusia. There are 4 pieces in total. They all fit together to go on a wall, or they can be a centerpiece on a table. And they're based on the year 1492, a critical year in the history of Andalusia. The others are flower paintings of flowers that I see around, just in miniatures to fit in with the actual sculptures.
It's like a combination to paint and to...
Yes. And this series here, do you want this series? This series is based on the sea, and it's based on the beach down at La Cala de Mijas, and the patterns made by the sea and all different shapes within the sea. So it's also very interesting and very exciting to work with.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
I have these paintings which have come from my work during 20 years in West Africa, because we left Scotland and we went to Nigeria and worked there for 20 years. And some of these were from, this is one of my own paintings, the rest I've done for this particular exhibition, but the work that I did at the end there was all done in natural elements. The brown is laterite that the roads are made of, the grey is cement, there's coffee, and there's obviously a collage of different textures, because Africa's a very textural place, and it's the colours are all the sub-Sahara colours of the desert, and they and an element of the culture of Nigeria in it. Some masks from Nigeria, and also some of the. I just love the landscape of the place out there, and I loved to be out painting. And this is the same place done in 3 different times. the sunset over a riverbed with the bush, not the campo, but the bush in behind, which I loved working in so much. So this is my farewell to Africa, and now that we're in Spain, I'll see what Spain says and how it will evolve itself in my work.
I hope you love Spain as much as you love Africa.
I think I will, yes.
Well, I've worked a lot from bits of scrap metal, as you can probably see from the lower little one down here, little boat. It's mostly bits from the riverbed which have been picked up and welded together. The ones above, which are the horses, and all sorts of attitudes, they also, the aluminium that they are made of was again from the riverbed and just wired round. But most of the work that I have been doing for many years now has been welded work, and I get a lot of satisfaction from it and enjoy, especially the attitude of birds and animals.
So I suppose you recycle everything you see?
More or less, from paint pots to just anything I can pick up, sometimes from skips and sometimes from the riverbed. It's very good. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Wendy.
Thank you.
With Milton and Jackie Johanides, you are the brains behind all this adventure. Tell us about the adventure itself and how you got the idea of starting all this.
Well, it's something we've had in mind to do for quite a long time. We were picture framers, and we had a small gallery in Scotland for a long time. But then we decided Spain was a better place for this sort of venture. We arrived in Spain nearly 3 years ago now. And we started with a small picture framing business just around the corner from here. And just this year, this shop became vacant. And we came to view it, and it was just crying out to become a gallery. The light in this building was fantastic. And by that time, we'd got to know very many artists. And they all came to view it, and they decided what a wonderful place it was to have a gallery.
And actually, you have many people collaborating, many great artists right now here.
Yeah, we do. Our opening night was the 17th of December. We've now got 20 artists in with us. We also have an art dealer who buys his products from the UK and also the States.
And what future projects do you have? Because I believe you're going to have art lessons and temporal exhibitions as well.
Yes, I mean, we don't want this to be just a museum where people come and view art and they're almost scared to come into the gallery. We want it to be a place where people are comfortable. Eventually we're going to have a coffee shop where they can sit and have a drink, and also classrooms. We want to start art classes. So it's something for the community as a whole.
And as you mentioned before, not only for foreign residents, also for Spanish people as well.
Oh yeah, we're very keen to make it an international centre. It's not just for expats, and we've got a couple of people working with us who are Spaniards, and a friend of ours who's an Argentinian, and they're bringing their experience and their knowledge of the language and the culture to the gallery as well. So when we have art classes, hopefully we'll have them in Spanish as well, not just English.
Please do, yeah, we welcome everyone. We'd love to see them here.
Every month we have a special exhibition, a preview night of a new artist who gets to exhibit for 3 or 4 weeks, and on those evenings the general public are invited to join us and meet the artist and have a drink with us and generally get to know the place.
And what about people who are thinking about starting to paint professionally, who would like to become part of this adventure?
Yeah, please come along. We'd like to meet new artists. That's one of the purposes of the centre, is to promote new talent. We don't just have established artists here. We have young artists who are just learning about marketing their work and selling their work. So in time, I think everything will link together. We'll have the classes, we'll have people who will train the artists in selling their work and how best to exhibit their work in the centre.
Now you have your own pictures as well, we have been able to see before.
Yes.
Tell us about them.
Well, I'm a frustrated artist, funnily enough. The gallery is my day job, but I like painting as well. I like painting, and this is another reason why we came to Spain, because it's such a wonderful place to paint. The light is fantastic down here on the Costa, and I find it very inspiring.